The following is a presentation of RMG Sports, award-winning championship television.
Branson, Missouri is one of the world's top entertainment destinations. From attractions to rides to music and history, Branson has fun for everyone. Today, the fun moves to Branson Landing, where Lake Taneycomo has become a super speedway. Powerboat Nationals racing from Branson starts now. Race fans, welcome to world-famous Branson, Missouri, where Powerboat Nationals is ready to tear up Branson Landing's corner of Lake Taneycomo at the 2019 Branson Grand Prix of Missouri. Hello everyone, Jared Romsberg here with the RMG Sports crew alongside a growing crowd here at Branson Landing as we get ready to bring you the excitement of our first trip to Missouri. But before we get to the main event, fans, let's talk about ProTunnel 2 qualifying in the Branson pre-race show. Branson, you won't believe it until you do. Explore Branson.com. BT2 World Championship Series points leader Steve Merleau was the fastest in time trials, earning a pole position for the first heat race. As he moved away with the lead at the start, 67 Leland Broge and 95 Dustin Pearson went nose-to-nose for second down the front stretch, with 9 Don Wilson coming along to make it a thrilling 3-wide battle for second. Pearson grabbed second while Broge fought with Wilson for third, with Wilson in the 9 grabbing the spot. Soon, David McMurray in the 57 would move Broge back another position, stealing fourth away from the Michigan driver. Then Wilson and McMurray brought cheers from the crowd as they went door to door for third. McMurray slid in front of Wilson out of 4, taking the position. With only a few laps remaining, the 95 had issues, and second place Dustin Pearson would drop in the running order as McMurray, Wilson, and the rest of the fleet would drive right by. David McMurray made things interesting at the end, getting closer to the 66, but Heat 1 belonged to Steve Merleau as he went on to victory. In the second heat, a repaired 95 was on the pole, and Dustin Pearson took full advantage, shooting away with the lead. 66 Steve Merleau was fighting hard with 9 Don Wilson for second when along came 67 Leland Broge to join the party. The 3-wide battle thrilled the thousands in attendance as the fight took several laps to break up. Broge took second and Merleau held third ahead of Wilson. A lap later, Merleau passed Broge for the runner-up position, but the battle would be for naught. Near the end of the Heat 2, Travis Thompson was stopped and drifted into a dangerous position, bringing out the caution. The lead that Dustin Pearson had was gone as the fleet lined back up to the dock. When the flag dropped, Steve Merleau got the jump on Pearson. But a lap later, the 95 resumed his run at the front, getting by the 66. His time in the lead would last the rest of the race, and Dustin Pearson won the second ProTunnel 2 heat. In the third and final heat race, Travis Thompson had the BadWineReviews.com 2 boat on the pole. But he was left at the dock when the flag dropped as 9 Don Wilson led the fleet to the first turns. While Wilson moved ahead, 66 Steve Merleau and 57 David McMurray locked horns for second, with Merleau winning the fight. Then 95 Dustin Pearson and 67 Leland Broge entertained the crowd with their side-by-side battle for fourth. While Pearson was winning that battle, the leaders were at it again. Merleau had the inside line, but Wilson had the power and was able to hold the momentum through the turns. Towards the midway point, Dustin Pearson came into the conversation as the battle for the lead had another member. At one point, they went 3 wide down the backstretch, making a Don Wilson sandwich, with Pearson powering by both Merleau and Wilson, taking the lead in front of a cheering crowd. However, seconds later, the 95 had engine trouble and briefly stopped on the course, allowing 9 Don Wilson to move into the lead. Steve Merleau did what he could, staying in Wilson's hip pocket the rest of the race, but Don Wilson went on to win the third and final PT2 heat. Thanks to his solid performance, Steve Merleau earned the pole position for the ProTunnel 2 feature race at the 2019 Branson Grand Prix of Missouri.
Yeah, you know, that's what we're here for, right? We're here to take names and take wins. So tomorrow is where it counts for the final, and look for me to be way out in front.
Here's the starting order for the PT2 feature race here in Branson. The win in Heat 2 allowed Dustin Pearson to grab a second-place starting position, with David McMurray starting right next door in third, and Heat 3 winner Don Wilson starting fourth. Fans, we are having a blast here in Branson, and we haven't even mentioned HydroCross yet. Their racing and so much more is coming up in our coverage of Powerboat Nationals racing here in Branson right after this.
This presentation of Powerboat Nationals Racing at the 2019 Branson Grand Prix of Missouri is brought to you by Branson. You won't believe it until you do. ExploreBranson.com. Branson Landing, where shopping, dining, and entertainment take center stage. By Branson Jet Boats. Learn more at BransonJetBoats.com. Main Street Lake Cruises. Visit MainStreetLakeCruises.com for more information. And by Towboat US, towing you can trust.
In Branson, we believe a smile is still a smile, even when it's turned upside down. We believe you don't need snow to slide, or a license to drive, and you don't need wings to fly. Here, hearts beat a little faster, and lights shine a little brighter. Branson. You won't believe it until you do. ExploreBranson.com.
In Branson, we believe acting your age is totally overrated. We believe in hitting the high notes, the low notes, and all the notes in between. We believe that bucket lists were meant to be emptied, and your glass completely filled. Branson, you won't believe it until you do. ExploreBranson.com.
This segment of Powerboat Nationals Racing at the 2019 Branson Grand Prix of Missouri is brought to you by Branson. You won't believe it until you do. ExploreBranson.com.
Race fans, welcome back to Branson, Missouri, where you're taking an incredible ride on Wildfire, one of Silver Dollar City's 40 rides and attractions. Along with the award-winning food and entertainment, the 1880s themed park offers an award-winning water park, cruises on Table Rock Lake, and much more as Silver Dollar City celebrates its 60th anniversary. Branson is loaded with exciting attractions for everyone. Check out Fritz's Adventure, a dynamic family attraction that brings the excitement and challenges of outdoor adventure into a multi-dimensional indoor environment. Then step outside and live your dream of flying at Fritz's Aerodrome. Want more adventure? Take a ride on the Runaway Mountain Coaster. It uses the natural topography of the Ozark Mountains, providing a user-controlled thrill ride that your family will want to ride again and again. Something else you want to ride again and again are the Branson Jet Boats. Branson Jet Boats is a boat tour unlike any you've taken before. They combine the stunning beauty and history of Lake Taneycomo and couple it with a specially designed jet boat that can speed you down the lake and back on a 14-mile, 1-hour tour that pairs local history, stories, and great views with a thrilling adventure of bow dunks, 360 spins, power slides, and more. Want a ride that's a little less intense? Wrap your day of adventure up with a ride on the Branson Ferris Wheel. Formerly located on Chicago's iconic Navy Pier, this 150-foot tall Ferris wheel has 40 gondolas, giving 240 passengers a fantastic view of Branson's entertainment district and the surrounding mountains. Fans, we need a couple more hours to tell you about all of the fun things there are to do and see in Branson, but we have to get back to racing. Looking for a great family experience? Start your search by visiting explorebranson.com and plan your trip to Branson, Missouri today. Now let's hit the waters of Lake Taneycomo for HydroCross racing at Branson Landing. 51 Christian Daly from Indianapolis, Indiana, earned the pole position and had the inside line for the start of the HydroCross main event. '99 Matt Johnson roared up alongside of the leader, but Daly shot away with first place. Then Hayden Skellett flew up, and the green streak moved Johnson back to third on the opening lap. Johnson had to run at full throttle because 30 Eric Gabriel and 22 Tom Keller were zeroing in on the 99. In HydroCross racing, all riders must make at least one trip around a joker buoy that sits a distance off of the course. When Johnson went for the Joker, World Championship Series points leader Tom Keller in the 22 followed in his wake. Then Hayden Skellett took his obligatory trip, while the leader, Christian Daly, continued to wait. The next lap, Daly took the long trip around the equalizer. The crowd of thousands held its breath as Daly and Skellett were set to merge out of the final turn. Daly blasted back onto the course, and he and Skellett wowed the crowd with an amazing drag race to the first pin for the lead. Daly would hold off the youngster, retaining the front spot. Christian Daly and Lake Taneycomo did not get along this weekend in Branson. 2 laps after the thrilling fight with Skellett, the 51 was bucked off of his ski, going for a swim in the frigid water. In seconds, course marshal Randy Scott was there to help, but the damage had been done. Daly's shot at the win in Branson was gone as Hayden Skellett moved to the front. 30 Eric Gabriel had yet to take his trip around the Joker buoy and was back in fourth behind 99 Matt Johnson and 22 Tom Keller. Keller did what he could to catch up, but the 99 had a firm grip on the runner-up slot. With the HydroCross World Championship Series points so tight they squeaked, Keller knew that every position and the points that came along were precious. With the Joker lap in his pocket and solid runs around Lake Taneycomo, 14-year-old Hayden Skellett stayed in the lead and crossed the line to take the checkered flag, winning Powerboat Nationals HydroCross main event at the 2019 Branson Grand Prix of Missouri.
It was rough, but I liked it. It felt good, and I rode good on it, so.
When you guys were out there, you went to the Joker buoy, you came out, I thought that you were going to have Daly, you had the drive, the Daly came past and kind of pushed you over almost out of bounds. What was going through your mind at that point?
I was trying to find a way around him, trying to sweep him, and he cut over, so I cut inside. Then he tried cutting inside, and I cut outside, and then he got to the buoy first, so then that lap came and he fell.
Matt Johnson and Tom Keller joined Skellett on the 2019 HydroCross podium at Branson Landing. As we look at the HydroCross World Championship Series points, Tom Keller holds on to the lead, but Hayden Skellett is now just 10 points back. Only 76 points separate the top 5 riders as we approach the final 2 HydroCross races in 2019. Fans, we're just getting warmed up. The ProTunnel 2 boats are now on the water. They're going to race when we come back to Branson right after this.
And soon, your family will be talking about the fun and excitement of the longest and fastest mountain coaster in the Midwest. Runaway Mountain Coaster on Highway 165. Families love it. Listen to these reviews.
7 times down the mountain was great every time. My son said it was the best thing he'd ever done.
We had so much fun, we came back to do the night ride. The LED lights made it a completely different experience.
The daredevils in your group can challenge themselves to a no-brakes run down almost 5,000 feet of mountain track, 6 flying curves at top speeds of 30 miles per hour. Since you control your own brakes, your meek mountaineers of the group aren't left out. Or if you just want to watch, You can sit comfortably and see the ride from our free observation deck. There are even more thrills after dark. Take a wild ride through an outdoor light show as you zig and zag down the mountain. Enjoy second ride savings when you coaster day and night. I'm a mom, and I understand how tough it can be to find something for the whole family. Runaway Mountain Coaster is safe for your 3-year-old. And when I told my 9-year-old he could drive, let's just say I love seeing that smile on his face. To drive your own Runaway Mountain Coaster cart, you must be 9 or older and 52 inches or taller. Kids as young as 3 can ride as a passenger, as long as they're 36 inches tall. We can't wait to see you and your family at the longest and fastest mountain coaster in the Midwest. You'll find us on Highway 165, just about a mile from the Titanic. Runaway Mountain Coaster, your adventure awaits.
This segment of Powerboat Nationals Racing at the 2019 Branson Grand Prix of Missouri is brought to you by Branson. You won't believe it until you do. Explore Branson.com.
Race fans, welcome back to Branson Landing here on the shores of Lake Taneycomo, where we are now just seconds away from the start of Powerboat Nationals ProTunnel 2 feature race. Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime here in Branson. The fleet is assembled along the dock. Steve Merleau, number 66, is your pole sitter. The belts are tightened, the fuel pumps are on. All eyes are now on the flagman. Course Marshal Randy Scott, drop that flag! And we're racing in Branson! The fleet ignites off the dock. Steve Merleau, our pole sitter, absconds with the lead, but look at right behind him. They're going to try to go 4 wide into the turn. Pearson and McMurray are side by side for second. Here comes Wilson on the outside. Thompson on the outside. 4 wide into the turn. Thompson lets out of the gas. He thinks better as they come out of turn 4. Side by side for second. Pearson on the inside. McMurray on the outside. McMurray clawing across the top of Lake Taneycomo, trying to catch up to Pearson as they go into turn 1 for the first time. You can see the huge crowd that is amassed along the shores of Lake Taneycomo here at Branson Landing as the fleet screams by at well over 80 miles an hour into turn 1. Here they go. Oh, contact! Contact out of turn 2. Travis Thompson and Leland Broge getting a little physical out there as we start this race. Now Thompson roars on the outside in the number 2. Here comes Broge on the inside. Broge and Thompson side by side for a 5th. Let's take a look at that as they went into the turn. You won't miss a second, fans. Let's watch the replay down in the lower right-hand side. And certainly contact out of 2. We're going to see who got the best of that as Thompson now moves ahead of Broge. Not sure what damage is done to either boat, but so far Travis Thompson able to get around Leland Broge. All this action in the back has allowed our leader to move way ahead. Look off the back of our World Championship Series points leader, Steve Merleau. And boy, does he give us a nice shot of Branson Landing. Look at the beautiful crowd, 3 deep in some places along the shoreline here. Right behind him, Dustin Pearson. Pearson fought through some mechanical problems in qualifying, was able to start second, and that's where he's running right now, trying desperately to catch up to the 66, making nice turns like that. That's certainly gonna help. Pearson doing a great job out of turns 1 and 2, but Merleau just pulls away on the backstretch. Pearson's got to keep an eye in the mirror with that orange 57. Not hard to spot him out there. David McMurray in 3rd. The Nashville, Tennessee native McMurray looking to have a solid performance out here on Lake Taneycomo, and he's doing a great job so far. Started 3rd, running 3rd. McMurray can usually be seen in a PT1 boat out here racing PT2 this weekend in Branson, trying to stay ahead of this guy. Don Wilson, veteran racer, first time racing with Powerboat Nationals. The Michigan driver out here trying to stay ahead of Travis Thompson. Thompson had a physical start to this race. United States Marine Corps veteran Travis Thompson racing for badwinereviews.com, trying to catch up to Don Wilson to move one step closer to that coveted real estate on the podium of Powerboat Nationals ProTunnel 1 Series. You can see Thompson and Wilson putting on a little bit of a show for the fans out here. Well, they battle for the 4th place slot. Back in 6th, Leland Broge, the Heartbreak Kid. I tell you what, guys, he started out 2019 rock solid. He actually led in the World Championship Series points for Powerboat Nationals PT2 Series. He has not been able to find that success that he had early on, and now we're hearing that he might have a hole in that boat thanks to the contact between the 67 and Travis Thompson in the 2, so we'll keep an eye on the 67. We hop on board with our race leader, Steve Merleau, way out in front. You can see all that nice clean water right in front of him. Fans, if you take note of the running order graphics, you see that 66 next to Merleau's name is in red. That denotes our current World Championship Series points leader. Steve Merleau on a tear so far in 2019, hasn't lost in Powerboat Nationals ProTunnel 2 feature race competition since back at the Grand Prix of Michigan in Trenton. And man, he has amassed a huge lead in the points. One guy trying to chip away at that, Dustin Pearson. Fans, he made Powerboat Nationals racing history in our race on the Ohio River in Ravenswood, West Virginia. First, he finished on the podium in his 95 ProTunnel 2 boat. Then he turned around, hopped into the cockpit of one of the larger ProTunnel 1 boats, went out on the Ohio, finished on the podium with that boat, becoming the first driver in Powerboat Nationals history to earn podium finishes in 2 different classes in the same weekend. And while he's trying to move up the running order, get around that 66, he's got to watch that orange 57 boat of David McMurray, who's chipping away. He's back in third, is McMurray. He wants to get up to second and then challenge 66 for the lead. But I tell you what, these guys are just now in the middle of the front stretch. Steve Merleau on the back stretch, trimming it up, moving away. Fans, we've got to step aside for some messages. Steve Merleau is your leader. More racing from the Branson Grand Prix of Missouri right after this.
We hope you enjoyed your trip to Branson. On your way home, we know you'll take some time to share your experience with your family. But you can share more than photos and stories. You can share Branson with your family. Branson is the perfect place to host your next family reunion. With all of our live shows, outdoor activities, and family attractions, there's definitely something for everyone in Branson. Exciting shows, beautiful lakes, award-winning attractions, great shopping, and so much more are waiting right here for you and your family. So what are you waiting for? Share the good times. Call 877-BRANSON or visit explorebransonreunions.com.
This segment of Powerboat Nationals Racing at the 2019 Branson Grand Prix of Missouri is brought to you by Branson. You won't believe it until you do. ExploreBranson.com.
Race fans, welcome back to Lake Taneycomo and Branson Landing in beautiful Branson, Missouri. Powerboat Nationals ProTunnel 2 feature race now in its waning laps, only 5 laps to go. Steve Merleau putting on a clinic to the thousands of fans that we have here. Look on the right-hand side, fans, a huge crowd on hand, but my, oh my, Dustin Pearson, you can hear his engine. It's not firing true. Man, it's going to cost him. Here comes David McMurray on the outside. David McMurray slides into second place with only 4 laps to go. Dustin Pearson back on the throttle, not sure what was going on there. Dustin Pearson had trouble earlier in qualifying. The Gremlins attacking the 95 boat. But the 57, boy, nothing wrong there. He slid right by and moved into second place. Dustin Pearson had some engine trouble yesterday in qualifying, was able to grab a second place starting position, and that's where he's ran for the majority of this race. But now you can see David McMurray just slamming the door on Dustin Pearson as he struggles to try to catch back up and retake that second place slot. All the while, the 66 boat, our leader, Steve Merleau, you can see he's disappearing down the backstretch. Pearson now trying to move it to the inside, and oh my, something wrong with the 95 boat. He has lost almost all power, struggling across the top of the waters of Lake Taneycomo, way off plane, slowing down with only 3 laps to go. Dustin Pearson, we were saying that Leland Broge is a heartbreak kid. It might be Dustin Pearson, as he now struggles to find some kind of power. He's going to drop in the running order. Here comes Don Wilson. Wilson running back and forth, but for how long? Pearson's got to find something on the front stretch. I don't think he's going to do it. No, he's not. Here goes Wilson. Wilson into third. Don Wilson, his first ever Powerboat Nationals race. He's going to wind up on the podium. Look at Travis Thompson flying by. Thompson now trying to catch up to Wilson. Thompson wants that final slot on the podium. Wilson and Thompson put on a solid show towards the middle of the race, with Wilson coming out on top with the position. Here goes Leland Broge past Pearson, moving Pearson to dead last with 1 lap to go. Pearson went from second to dead last in the race. And while Pearson struggles, the 66 is looking to celebrate for the 5th time this year. Steve Merleau continues to dominate the PT2 class. They had a $1,000 bounty on his head for this race, fans. Still, no takers. No one can get around the 66. Merleau has one more set of turns. Dustin Pearson's on the inside. He's going to have to shoot to the outside. That's going to open the door for McMurray. Can McMurray do anything with it? He tries to do something on the inside, but he's going to run out of track. Steve Merleau wins in Branson. David McMurray is going to finish second. Don Wilson grabs third. Fans don't move. The Branson post-race show is next.
Coming to Silver Dollar City in 2020, Mystic River Falls, the tallest drop on a raft ride in the Western Hemisphere. Get ready to embark on a family-friendly river rafting expedition. Explorers will ascend over 8 stories onto an elevated river channel before plummeting down a 4.5-story waterfall. It's the wettest splashdown in our 60-year history. The greatest adventures lie ahead. Mystic River Falls, the tallest drop on a raft ride in the Western Hemisphere, rushing your way. Summer 2020. Only at Silver Dollar City.
This presentation of Powerboat Nationals Racing at the 2019 Branson Grand Prix of Missouri was brought to you by Branson. You won't believe it until you do. ExploreBranson.com. Branson Landing, where shopping, dining, and entertainment take center stage. By Branson Jet Boats. Learn more at BransonJetBoats.com. Main Street Lake Cruises. Visit MainStreetLakeCruises.com for more information. And by Towboat US. Towing you can trust.
Race fans, welcome back to Branson, where you're riding on board with your ProTunnel 2 feature race winner, Steve Merleau, as he completes his victory lap here on Lake Taneycomo, as we welcome you to the Branson Post-Race Show. Branson, Missouri, you won't believe it until you do. ExploreBranson.com. Mikey Young is standing by at Branson Landing with our race winner.
Grand Prix of Missouri, it belongs to Merleau. Congratulations, Steve.
Thank you. You know, like I said, we're here to get it done, and we got a few more races to get it done. It's unfortunate we took a second in Trenton, but here in Branson, we got it back together, and again, we're back to fear in the beard.
Well, not only did you clinch the Grand Prix of Missouri here, but you also clinched the U.S. National Championship. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we're national champ. We're going to be way ahead in points at this point, and looking forward to get those last 2 races under our belts and with 2 first places, and end the year with a career high for us.
Steve Merleau was joined by David McMurray and Don Wilson on the podium here in Branson. This was David McMurray's first ever podium finish with Powerboat Nationals Racing. Fans, let's take a look at Powerboat Nationals ProTunnel 2 World Championship Series points. You can see Steve Merleau dominating so far in 2019. The Fear the Beard campaign keeping him on top, 120 ahead of his closest competitor, Leland Broge. Fans, we had a fantastic time in Branson, and we cannot wait to come back. Congratulations to Hayden Skellett, your winner in HydroCross, and to Steve Merleau, your winner in a ProTunnel 2 feature race. For everyone with Powerboat Nationals, I'm Jared Romsberg. Thank you, Branson. We'll see you at PowerboatNationals.com.